Bing, boing, bing. Everybody has a story to tell with Toddy One Skip. Hey guys, this is Everybody Has a Story to Tell with Toddy One Skip. I am Toddy One Skip. How you doing? Guys, everybody has a story to tell, but very few people take the time to listen until now. So, I did a video yesterday that you guys seemed to take an interest in, and that interest was that in the cells. What's it like in the cells? It's a whole different world in the cells because it's got its own politics, it's got its own diplomacy, sometimes it's got its own religion. And a few of you have reached out and said, "Hey, how does that work? What if somebody's on a special diet, or what if somebody is Jewish and they need a Jewish meal?" Well, believe it or not, they accommodate that. They accommodate it so much so that you don't even have to have eaten kosher food on the outside. All you have to do is claim that you're kosher on the inside, and they have to meet that need. Ramadan, everything, regardless of what it is. If you're gluten-free, they're going to give you gluten-free, okay? As far as vegan and stuff like that, there has to be a medical thing or a religious connection to it. And then, yes, they do accommodate that. Absolutely, they do. Now, I worked in a jail. I didn't work in the prisons. When I was in the prison system, I would go in there and just talk to the trustees, and that was about selling my greeting cards in the prison systems, and that was in upstate New York. Before you go to prison, you go to jail. The only time that I don't know that to be true, the only time that I know that not to be true, was in the case of Richard Allen, the Delphi, the guy who was accused and convicted of the unaliving of the two girls, Libby and Abby, in Delphi, Indiana. I don't think he's guilty. I don't think he's guilty. He was put in prison before he was convicted of the felonies of the MURDERs. And again, I don't think he did it. But by rule, usually, you always go to jail before you go to prison. And in jail, it's a lot more restricted because you have people of all different. You've got people for misdemeanors, to felons, to violent crimes, to not violent crimes, to white-collar crimes, to MURDER, to worse. So everybody goes to jail first. Now, usually when you spend time in jail, you're spending time in jail to either have your court hearing or to get on probation. So it depends on how long you're there. You can be in jail for quite some time if you're waiting for a trial to come up and you don't have the parole, you don't have the money to be bonded out, or you're not bonded out, So that just depends. In the meantime, that's your home. You're going to fit into that situation. You're going to be in the most uncomfortable environment because that is a tier system. When you get into the jail system, you get into usually the crappiest cell, and then you move yourself up as far as if you're going to be there, you're going to be a trustee. When I say a trustee, you're going to get a job inside of the prisons, inside of the jail system. Kitchen, laundry, commissary, cleaning the hallways, So, or helping somebody with the distributing of the meals. So there's jobs that you could do. It pays very little. For every so many days that you work, in Virginia where I worked, you got some time off your sentence. The jails are totally overpopulated, but I believe the prisons are too now. I think that everything is overpopulated and understaffed. So a few of you have talked about like Commissary and stuff like that. So let me tell you, we'll just go right into Mackenzie Shirilla. So here's the deal. Here's what's going on there. You can only get so much. You can have as much money on your books as possible. Who cares? But you can only spend so much money in Commissary. And you can only get and have so much stuff. Because it's a small space that you're in. And you can only have so much stuff. If somebody, if Mackenzie is giving somebody Commissary so that they don't pick on her, she's giving a lot of people Commissary. So you say, well, how's that? Well, somebody could be sending money directly to that person's books, because she's not going to be able to get any more soup than she can get. So let's say that each week you could buy 2 cases of soup. The person that she's spending money on is going to take the 2 cases of soup, but then you have somebody else saying, shit, there's money over there. There's money over there. That girl's walking out with 2 cases of soup a week. I want some soup. Fuck, hey, Kenzie, I want some soup. Hey, car crash, give me some soup. And she's like, well, I can't give you the soup because now they only let you buy so much. That's all right. Just put the money right on my books. Tell mommy to put the money right on my books. And now the money's coming through this other system. Used to be you used to mail a check or go in there and give them money. Because you got to remember, I'm 30 years ago there. Now you're actually sending money through a machine. So, I mean, to me, these inmates are making bank because nobody really knows where the money's coming from. Anybody could say that the money's coming from anywhere. So people could be buying their own freedom, per se, or the way that they want to live inside of the facilities. It's its own caste system. And it's not, again, it's not the inmates, that it's not the deputies or the COs that decide who's running what's going inside the jails. It's the inmates. It's the inmates. There are top dogs in there that are going to have a lot of bitches and a lot of people, whether it be guy or girl, a lot of people working for them. And there's people that are in that commissary that are making bank. And there's people that are in, the facilities just making bank. I've seen the pictures of people in the prisons. That's usually in the prison system that have all of that commissary and stuff. Like if you saw a picture of Jumpsuit Pablo, that wasn't in a jail. That was in the prison system. The jail system, I'm telling you, is a lot more strict because they don't let you out near as much. There's not near as many programs. It's more of you just fucking sitting in your cell block. You know, usually watching television or something. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, but when you get to prison, there's a lot more opportunity. There's a lot more routine, per se. And there's a lot more where you can go out and you know, in the jail, you can't even always get out to the gym. And sometimes it's a rooftop gym. And the place that I worked at, it wasn't even outside, per se. It was still inside because it was a building. It was a skyscraper. Right? So each, like, floor had a gym, but the gym was inside. And it had just huge windows that were way on top that had a little bit of fresh air. That was it. So there wasn't much to that. It depends on where people are at and what the jail looks like. And but so people asked, yes, they do accommodate the food. And, you know, they have to do that. They have to do that. They have to give you your meals. They have to respect your religion. Whether you respected it the day before you came in the facility or not, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You get to tell them what religion you are and what you practice, and they have to go by it. You can't go back and forth, though, I'll tell you that. They're not going to do that. So anyway, guys, I wanted to share this with you because a few of you had asked me, especially about the food and stuff like that, and we can go into more of it. I have like a little cookbook, a jail cookbook, and we could talk about that. It's usually stuff from the commissary, you know. Anyway, guys, hopefully you've enjoyed this series. We're going to continue on with this series. We could talk about, like, on visiting days. You could talk about the crazy phone calls that come in to the jail by moms like Mackenzie Sharilla's mom, who thinks that they could decide and complain, oh, my kid's not sleeping, can they get an extra mat? What, are you fucking kidding me? This is prison, this is jail. What? You know? Oh, my kid, you know, is on the floor in the gym. Yeah, we're overpopulated. There's no more cells. So yeah, there's bunks inside the gym. Can they, it's embarrassing. Can they get into their own? No, they can't. They can wait. You get a lot of people that still think that there's privilege, and it's funny. It is. All right, guys. I appreciate you. This is Everybody Has a Story to Tell with Toddy One Skip. I am Toddy One Skip, and I'm happy to tell you about these stories because they're interesting and a lot of them are really funny. Take care of yourselves and don't let that be your story. All right, guys. Bye. Bing, boing, bing. Everybody has a story to tell with Toddy One Skip.